If you begin this Stoic practice today, money will come to you not as a magical windfall, but as a natural consequence of the order and clarity you establish within yourself. For the ancient Stoics taught that wealth flows to the disciplined mind as water flows to the lowest ground. In their view, prosperity was never an accident, but the echo of inner mastery. And this is the truth we will explore together now. Imagine for a moment that every breath you take, every thought you cultivate, and every action you repeat is a seed sown in a private garden that no one else can see, but that eventually yields fruit visible to all. What you are about to hear is not a list of tricks or promises of instant fortune, but a path of training and self-governance. A path that, if you stay with me until the end, will reveal a single insight that could change how you think about money forever. That insight is hidden in plain sight within the very practice we are about to unfold. And when you arrive at the final minutes of this narrative, you will recognize it not as something imposed from outside, but as something you have remembered from deep within yourself. So I invite you now to listen, to reflect, and to keep your mind open as we walk together through images of marble halls, bustling markets, and quiet mornings of self-discipline. Picture yourself at dawn in ancient Rome, the air cool and damp, your sandals clicking against the stone as you cross the forum. Merchants arrange their wares, senators hurry toward the Senate House, and among them a lone philosopher sits quietly on the steps, eyes closed, breathing slowly. He is not selling anything, nor is he shouting for attention, yet those who pass near him sense a steadiness that money cannot buy. This steadiness, this inward anchoring, is the practice that the Stoics considered more valuable than any coin, because it made a person immune to panic and greed. Fast forward to the present. You wake up, reach for your phone, check your account balance, glance at the news, and feel a knot tighten in your chest. The market is falling, prices are rising, your plans seem uncertain. In that moment, you are like a merchant without a compass. The Stoic practice I'm about to describe is the compass. It does not change the weather of the market, but it changes how you navigate. And by changing how you navigate, it changes where you arrive. This practice begins with attention to what is truly within your control. Epictetus insisted that our judgments, our choices, and our inner speech are ours, while wealth, status, and reputation belong to the realm of externals. When you internalize this distinction, a new kind of freedom opens. You stop burning mental energy on things you cannot move, and you start investing it in habits, skills, and character. This is not a vague moral point. It is the foundation of effective financial action. A person who knows what is within their control no longer buys impulsively to soothe anxiety, no longer chases every rumor of opportunity, no longer freezes in fear when conditions change. Instead, they cultivate clarity, patience, and deliberate action, which over time become visible as savings, investments, and opportunities aligned with their values. To anchor this control, you need a ritual. The Stoic practice we are focusing on can be expressed simply. Begin each day with a conscious pause, a deliberate breathing exercise, combined with a review of your intentions. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations as a morning exercise to shape his mind before he stepped into the world's noise. You can do the same in your own way. Before you open your email or check your balance, sit quietly for a few breaths. Feel the air entering your lungs. Remind yourself what is and is not under your control today. Form one clear intention for how you will handle money or work. This takes less than 5 minutes, but its effects ripple outward all day. Neuroscience now shows that such rituals calm the amygdala, strengthen the prefrontal cortex, and shift your baseline toward calm focus rather than reactive stress. Over weeks and months, this becomes a mental posture of constructive expectation rather than fear. Consider the story of a young professional who felt trapped in debt and constant worry. She began each morning with this Stoic practice, breathing slowly and writing a short sentence about how she would act with money that day. At first, nothing changed externally. Her salary was the same, her debts the same, but her mindset shifted. She stopped making purchases to escape discomfort. She began to track her expenses. She learned about investing. She approached her boss with a clear proposal for added responsibility. Within a year, her financial situation improved dramatically. She attributed it not to luck, but to the calm and clarity she cultivated each morning. This is how money begins to come to you when you start this practice. Not because coins fall from the sky, but because your actions align with reality, and your reality begins to shift accordingly. Now imagine again the marble halls of ancient Rome. The philosopher opens his eyes, stands, and walks through the market without hurry. He is not afraid of losing because he does not believe his value depends on possessions. He is not desperate to gain because he already possesses self-command. This inner stance makes him trustworthy. People are drawn to him, offer him opportunities, ask his counsel. In the modern world, the same dynamic operates invisibly. Employers, clients, and partners sense when someone acts from calm principle rather than panic. Such people become magnets for collaboration and reward. This is the quiet power of the Stoic practice you are learning. It begins with a breath, but ends with a life shaped by steady choices and open doors. As you deepen this practice, you begin to see how each thought is like a coin minted in the workshop of your mind, and that the currency of your attention purchases your future. In every age, those who mastered their attention mastered their destiny. The Stoics knew that the mind, left untended, fills with weeds of worry, envy, and self-pity, and that these weeds choke action. By starting each day with conscious breathing and intentional thought, you are weeding your inner garden. You are creating a mental space where plans can grow, where opportunities can be recognized, and where discipline feels natural instead of forced. This is not mystical. It is the cumulative effect of small, deliberate acts. Over time, you begin to respond to challenges with curiosity instead of panic, to setbacks with adjustment instead of despair. This composure translates directly into better financial decisions because money is moved by behavior more than by math. To bring this to life, imagine a craftsman in a busy marketplace. Two apprentices stand nearby. One wakes each day overwhelmed, thinking only of what might go wrong. His hands tremble, his work suffers, and customers sense his anxiety. The other begins each morning with a stoic breathing ritual, recalling what is in his control and what is not. He approaches his tasks calmly, greets customers with steadiness and patience, and over time, his reputation grows. Though their skills are similar, their results diverge. This is the invisible but powerful effect of mindset on money. The same principle applies to you. By cultivating this inner practice, you shift from a posture of scarcity to a posture of sufficiency, and in that shift, doors open. The practice also involves reframing your inner dialogue about wealth. Stoicism teaches that it is not things themselves, but our judgments about things that disturb us. If you have been taught to see money as evil or as proof of worth, your behavior will reflect that judgment. The Stoic approach invites you to view money neutrally, as a tool. You neither idolize it nor despise it. You use it in accordance with reason and virtue. In practical terms, this means developing habits of conscious spending, purposeful saving, and generous giving, not from guilt, but from freedom. When you are free inwardly, you can handle money wisely without being handled by it. Combine this reframing with the morning ritual, and you begin to experience compounding effects. Each day you strengthen neural pathways of calm focus. Each decision you make from that state reinforces your identity as a prudent and proactive person. And each opportunity you notice and act on builds tangible results. This is why the practice seems to make money come to you. It is not magic, but alignment. The Stoics would say you are living in harmony with nature, which in modern language means you are aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with reality, instead of with fear or fantasy. As your discipline grows, you can expand the practice into brief pauses during the day. Before a purchase, take a breath. Before a meeting, take a breath. Before you speak about money, take a breath. These micro moments are like anchors dropped into the current of your day. They keep you from drifting into reactive habits. Over weeks and months, these anchors accumulate into a new baseline of presence and self-command. Others notice it even if they cannot name it. They sense trustworthiness, clarity, steadiness. In a world of noise and hurry, such qualities are rare and valuable. Opportunities gravitate toward those who embody them. The lesson hidden within this narrative, the promise I made at the beginning, is approaching. You have seen how the practice works at the level of daily ritual, inner dialogue and small actions. In the final part of this journey, we will bring these threads together and reveal the single insight that the Stoics carried across the centuries. The insight that transforms a simple breathing exercise into a master habit of prosperity. Stay with me as we cross that threshold, because once you see it, you will understand why starting this practice today can indeed change your financial destiny. The single insight that binds all of this together is that your state of mind is the first market you must master before you can thrive in any external market. The Stoics called it ruling the self. Modern psychology calls it self-regulation. Neuroscience shows it as the ability to activate the prefrontal cortex before the amygdala drives your behavior. Whatever the language, the principle is the same. The person who governs their inner state will eventually govern their outer circumstances because their decisions are made from clarity, not from compulsion. This is why the seemingly simple Stoic practice of beginning the day with conscious breathing and clear intention can have such dramatic effects on your financial life. It is the daily act of taking the helm of your own ship before the winds of the day begin to blow. To illustrate this, imagine a captain at sea. One captain wakes late, distracted, scanning the horizon for threats. His crew senses his tension, his orders are inconsistent, and the ship drifts off course. Another captain wakes early, breathes deeply, consults his charts, speaks calmly to his crew. He does not control the weather, but he controls his responses. Over time, his voyages are safer and more profitable. In the same way, you cannot control the economy, but you can control how you meet it. When you do so consistently, you accumulate advantages that compound into wealth. This practice also reshapes your relationship with time. The anxious mind is always in the future, imagining losses or gains. The Stoic mind returns to the present moment, where action is possible. By focusing on the present, you invest your attention where it can actually grow something. You plan for the future, yes, but you act now. This immediacy reduces procrastination, cuts impulse spending, and fosters the patience needed for long-term investing. Money grows where attention flows, and attention grows where you practice presence. As you practice, you may notice an unexpected byproduct: generosity. Because you are no longer grasping from fear, you can give from freedom. The Stoics valued generosity as a natural expression of virtue. In financial terms, generosity can mean supporting a cause, mentoring someone, or simply sharing knowledge. This outward flow reinforces your sense of sufficiency. Paradoxically, people who give wisely from a place of stability often attract more opportunities and goodwill, which has its own material benefits. This is not superstition, but social psychology. Trust and reputation are forms of capital that grow when you live your values. Another dimension of the practice is voluntary simplicity. Periodically choose to live with less, not as deprivation, but as training. Skip a purchase you can afford. Spend a weekend offline. Cook at home instead of dining out. Each voluntary restraint reminds you that you are larger than your appetites. It strengthens the muscle of choice. Over time, you become less reactive to advertising, less swayed by status signals, more grounded in your own priorities. This stability translates into more savings, better investment decisions, and greater resilience in downturns. Money that once leaked away under unconscious habits now accumulates under conscious direction. All of these elements, morning breathing, intentional thought, reframed judgments, micro-pauses, generosity and simplicity are strands of one rope. That rope is self-mastery. Self-mastery is the foundation of freedom, and freedom is the foundation of wealth. When you pull on any one strand, you strengthen the whole. This is why starting with a single practice can transform your entire financial life. It is the entry point to a larger discipline that reshapes who you are and therefore what you can do. In a moment, we will close this journey by returning to the scene with which we began and drawing out the hidden truth I promised you at the start. As you listen, reflect on how your own mornings might look if you adopted even a fragment of this practice. Imagine the compounding effect over weeks, months, and years. The insight you are about to hear is simple, but it may feel like a revelation because it names something you have always suspected about the link between inner order and outer prosperity. Return now in your imagination to the marble steps of the Forum at dawn. The philosopher rises from his meditation and begins to walk. Merchants still arrange their stalls. Children chase each other between the columns. A senator rehearses his speech under his breath. The philosopher moves slowly, greeting a few familiar faces, unhurried by the noise around him. He carries no coin purse in his hand, yet he possesses something rarer than gold. He carries self-command. That is the hidden asset the Stoics considered more valuable than any treasure, because it is the source from which all other gains can flow. You have followed me through this journey of images and practices, and now the truth promised at the beginning stands clear. Money does not come to you by chance, by slogans, or by secret formulas. It comes as a reflection of the order you establish within yourself. When you start this Stoic practice, you are not just calming your breath. You are training your nervous system, your thoughts, and your habits to act from clarity instead of from fear. This alignment gradually changes your financial reality in ways that look like fortune, but are in fact the predictable outcome of self-mastery. Think of a garden. Each day you water, prune, and remove weeds. At first the plot looks bare. Others may not understand why you kneel there every morning. Months later, the garden is green and full, attracting birds and bees and producing fruit. They call it luck or talent, but you know it is the harvest of discipline. The Stoic practice you have learned is like tending that garden. Each breath, each pause, each reframed thought is a seed. Over time, the seeds take root. Opportunities appear, relationships improve, decisions align with your long-term aims, and money flows toward the stability and trust you embody. You have become the kind of person who can create, keep, and use wealth wisely because you have practiced becoming that person from the inside out. This is the fulfillment of the promise. The truth is not hidden in a formula outside you. It is already within your capacity to govern your mind and thereby shape your circumstances. Beginning this practice today sets in motion a compounding process that may not be visible immediately, but will be unmistakable over years. You have learned how the ancients anchored themselves in a noisy marketplace and how you can anchor yourself in a noisy financial world. You have seen how breath and thought, simple and free, can become tools of profound transformation. And you have glimpsed how generosity, simplicity, and intention grow naturally from a calm mind and produce tangible results. As you finish listening, take one breath now. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly, and silently recall what is and is not under your control today. Choose one small financial action that expresses your values and do it from this state of calm. This is how you begin. This is how you build. This is how money begins to come to you, not as a tyrant, but as a servant of your purpose. You do not have to wait for the world to change. The practice is yours already. Begin today.